Welcome to the 21st Century Marketing Meetup. Ascend Business Design and Development holds these meetups to explore digital marketing practices, tools, and strategies to help you build your brand through digital marketing. This month, we have a presentation by Damon O'Hanlon of Wandering Sage Media. Damon is addressing the use of viral marketing, getting your customers to promote your brand to their friends and others. We present his talk in 3 parts. Here is part 1. Get them talking, how viral marketing can supercharge your business, part 1.
A little bit about my background is I worked in startups. I was a writer and editor and then editor-in-chief in startups before I started the brand consultancy and really wanted to pour my attention and focus into branding in particular. And during that time in startups, though, I mostly worked in media, mostly in entertainment media, which today really means social media. So that was sort of my home for many years before I focused on branding in particular. One of the most interesting things I learned from an early mentor is that most of how you do anything is learning how you're thinking about the situation, your own thinking, your own approach, and also the environmental factors. So the first thing I want to talk about is the landscape that we are looking at. So we live in a chaotic world. I think the military is fond of an acronym Bucha, which means volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And the military is not the only group that's seen this playing out. It's playing out in a lot of different corners of society. It's kind of like, it's got its different contours based on what your position is, but we're seeing that ripple effect through lots of things. Additionally, when it comes to marketing or advertising, these days people see it's estimated as much as 5,000 brand messages a day. And that includes advertisements of all kinds. It includes product placement. It includes just branded entities, right? You look at the average living room or office, even outdoor spaces, you have logos everywhere you go. So people are facing a barrage of these brand messages, even if it's just the icon, it's ever present. Lastly, this is one of my favorite quotes. CEO Reed Hastings said, "You get a show or a movie you're really dying to watch, and you end up staying up all night to watch it. We're actually competing with sleep, and we're winning." So, these digital experiences can be very engaging, but there's a lot of noise, essentially. There's a lot of different stuff going on, a lot of different pulls on our attention, and this applies in every space, right? In a place like search, you might think people are going to search, they're going to get something more specific, and they probably will. They have more control they're exerting over what they're looking for, like they might could be Googling you in particular, but even that space has gotten more crowded and competitive. This map is actually in trillions, I believe, and this is the number of websites, well, not even websites, I should say web pages, indexed by Google. I think they stopped making that information public in 2016, either because they didn't want to make it public or they didn't find it to be really relevant information anymore, interesting information. But working backwards, what I find really funny about this graph is that in 1998, it's not actually that there's nothing or no data there. That was, I believe, about 25 million websites. So that's how low it appears on the graph, and it only goes up. 25 million was not enough to register on this graph. And just as one more example about how chaotic and overfull our lives are, the average grocery store nowadays has, I believe, 40,000 products in it, which is about double from the 90s. So what do you do in a world that has this many different products competing for attention, this many different marketing messages, even channels? We have seen like the big 4 social media channels kind of like make their mark, and then there's new ones occurring as well. What does it take really to engage people, right? For something to be worth them stopping, paying attention to it, enjoying that experience, and then having some kind of experience with it that is so complete or thorough or expansive that they then want to talk about it with other people. Because that's ultimately what virality is. It's just people talking to other people. It might be hitting a share button on Facebook or something of that nature, but also could just be an email, or word of mouth is still very powerful. In fact, most of viral marketing, you might say, has a strong word of mouth component still. People really do have YouTube parties where somebody will say, have you seen this thing on YouTube? Show it to somebody. The other person says, that's awesome. Have you seen this? Pulls up something else, right? And so you have a shoulder-to-shoulder experience where people are at a keyboard telling one another, right? It's not even through a digital medium. It's that in person still matters. And it's all the same. People who are strongly motivated, strongly engaged, and who want to share with others. That's what you want to be drawing your attention to and leveraging. So, the good news is, the bad news was a little how complicated and crowded the space is, but the good news is that people are pretty simple in certain ways. As people go, we're all people. And our motivations can be broken down into internal motivators and external motivators, sort of like bright side motivators and shadow side motivators. So as examples, I want to talk about laughter. Laughter is a great feeling, and certainly most people have had a laugh alone, cracking themselves up while they drive to work with a thought in their head. But we laugh more often when we're around other people, and when something is funny, we have a stronger motivation to share that experience with others. Have you seen this? It's funny. Certain other types of motivators are sort of like lower demotivating experiences. People do not often say, have you seen this? It's really sad. Doesn't happen a lot. And so, my own take on it would be that that's sort of in that upper left quadrant. Awe would be another one. Awe is an experience that feels so large that you're taking part in something much bigger than yourself. Really easy example would be the moon landing. Or another example would be one of the most viral photographs of all time was when the Earth was first pictured from space, or photographed. That was a big moment. Everybody had seen globes, but a picture was different. It was real, it was the whole thing, and I think that photograph is actually called Small Blue Marble, the most famous photographs of all time. And you feel small, but you feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself. That is an experience that people like to share with others. Other ones up here, arc and progression. Progression is just a sense of getting better. A really popular genre of video that I get hit with a lot on YouTube because I actually taught martial arts for 10 years and really enjoy physical training. They hit you a lot with these videos about so-and-such person does push-ups every day for a year. Right? Very simple concept, but it's very engaging. It's essentially a real-life training montage, right? What does Rocky do? Rocky wakes up early, Rocky drinks the raw eggs, Rocky hits a thing of meat, goes for a run. There's real-life training montages all over YouTube right now performing really well. Person eats only vegetables for 30 days, and this is what happens, right? No shopping for 6 months, and this is what happens. And there's a sense of evolution and change and forward progress and upward progress that people find really engaging. And when the results are there, it's worth sharing. I want to talk particularly about ARC for a moment because this one is huge. There are lots of good examples out there with large companies nowadays, and I think it's also very available to small and medium-sized businesses as well. So ARC is a little bit of a mashup. It's a little bit of a combination of progression and awe. It's a story. It has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end, and it has a meaning. Why things are important. The time that we spend in our life on various projects, where does that take us? Why does it matter? That's one that I think doesn't get enough focus from small and medium businesses in particular. Now down here, I won't spend too much time talking about things like status, anger, instability, fear, but I wanted to put them up there because these are real and legitimate motivators that people have. And they can be leveraged towards very positive ends. If you are afraid of massive fires in your city, you make a fire department, right? That's a real and important fear that leads to realistic and healthy actions. What I will say is if you are leveraging things on this side, why they go on the side, why they deserve their own category is because there's a kind of diminishing return. If your relationship with your audience is always to hit them with fear, right? What is that? Well, if you sell a product, you're saying things like, without this product, you won't have any friends. Mm-hmm. Can you make sales that way? You bet you can. But it's a very short-term type of approach because you make someone feel bad in order to get them to take action. You now become the channel for them feeling bad. If you do that over and over again, that's your relationship with them. You are the people who make them feel bad. That's especially true if your promise is something that you can't really deliver on in a meaningful way. If there's not much they can do about something that is making them feel negative, you get a double strike. So it doesn't mean that you can't engage with negative things going on in the world. You can't have an opinion, or you can't use those things as a platform to say, hey, we can do this better, we can make this change. You should just be aware that you're trying to build a healthy relationship with your audience. And it's pretty hard to build a healthy relationship on a negative platform. Let me see, actually, if this has enough audio. I wanted to use this example as a good example of both awe and arc. This is from the health industry, actually, and I won't do anything else to spoil it.
This is the end of part 1. Follow the link to watch the ad, Santa Forgot, and then proceed to part 2 of Damon's talk on viral marketing. Thank you for listening. We hope you have enjoyed part 1 of this 3-part talk on viral marketing. The talk continues with part 2. The 21st Century Marketing Meetups are a project of Ascend Business Design and Development. Our mission at Ascend is to help companies grow profitably. We provide digital marketing design and implementation, as well as financial management for growing companies. For more videos of the 21CM meetups, visit us on the web at 21cm.global. Do you have a question or a digital marketing need? Reach out to us at Ascend. We're here to help your business grow.